Uh-oh, Tia Mowry is drowning in regret after divorcing Cory Hardrict. Rumor has it she's been desperately trying to worm her way back into his life. But the big question is, are they really getting back together? Or is this just another made-up drama cooked up by the blogs?
They said she done went home. They said she done went to the house. Rumor is, I ain't even had nothing to drink. Rumor is Tia carried her back to the house. She got a purse. She put a purse up under here. She got water, she put her glasses on, and she said, open the door.
Well, after everything Tia put Cory through and just sitting back while he was dragged through the mud as the leech, it's no surprise that people are saying she might deserve what's coming to her. A source close to the situation even spilled the tea, saying that if Tia really wants to win Cory back, she's gonna have to put in some serious work. According to this insider, Cory was devastated when he found out she was leaving. That betrayal shattered his trust, and if reconciliation's even on the table, Tia will have to work overtime to rebuild what she destroyed. Here's where it gets interesting. First, she went public with her divorce, then turned it into a full-on I'm divorced, I'm happy, and I don't need a man tour. After that, she started posting all these racy pics like she was the new queen of single life, talking about how she was diving headfirst into the dating pool. But what's the reality? No one was waiting with open arms. Because let's be real, the dating scene is trash. Now, instead of celebrating, she's crying daily and begging for Cory back. And that's why she can't stop talking about him. She's desperate, and everyone's watching it unfold.
I used to come to Vegas a lot with Cory. We used to come up here all the time. And when we first got here, a lot of memories that we had started to flood my brain. But I think what's really cool where I am now.
All right, so the burning question remains. Are Tia and Cory back together, or is Tia still trying to spin the block for a second chance? Let's get right into it. For a long time, people have been claiming that Cory was only with Tia because she was his safety net, a way to secure the bag, and that he was just using her for her money. Ouch, right? But here's the kicker. Tia and Cory first met back in 2000 while filming Hollywood Horror, which didn't even drop until 5 years later. Fast forward a little, and Tia says that was the moment she started seeing Cory in a different light. After a night out at the Cheesecake Factory, Cory chased her down just to deliver flowers. And that's when Tia swears she started falling for him. Next thing you know, they were dating, and before long, they were married. But hold up, amidst all the divorce drama, when people started digging into Cory's past, they uncovered something major. Apparently, Cory was granted an unemployment check by the state of California during a time when he was allegedly in no way eligible for it. The state caught wind of the mistake and demanded the money back. But here's where it gets even juicier. When Cory didn't cough up the cash, they filed a case against him in 2001. And get this, he never paid it back on time. So the interest, it skyrocketed. Now, it's not clear how deep this rabbit hole goes, but one thing's for sure, Cory's financial situation isn't exactly the stuff of fairy tales. Now, considering this all went down around the same time Cory met Tia, the general consensus quickly turned ugly. People started saying that Cory saw Tia as his safety net, a way to secure the bag, especially since she was already rich and famous at the time. Talk about a gold digger's dream, right? Some even started claiming that Cory's move on Tia wasn't about love at all. It was all about the money. In fact, if you look closely at the interviews they did together, some folks argue it's clear Cory never really loved Tia. Fast forward to the divorce, and things got messy. According to the divorce docs, Cory and Tia had no community assets. Translation, whatever Tia earned, she kept. And whatever Cory brought in, he kept. But the real kicker? Tia got to keep the house they were living in, all the furniture, and even all those travel perks like airline miles and reward points. Meanwhile, Cory walked away with nothing, not even a single point on his credit card. If that's not the ultimate L, I don't know what is. And it gets even more interesting. The divorce documents laid down some serious ground rules. First, they both agreed that neither of them could speak about the other in front of their kids at all, in a negative, disrespectful, or derogatory way. No dragging the other through the mud in front of the little ones, which honestly sounds like a pretty major power move. But here's where it gets real shady. The documents also stated that if either of them moved on with new love interests, they were forbidden from introducing their kids to anyone new until they'd been in an exclusive relationship for at least 6 months. So basically, no introducing anyone who could just be a fling, which makes you wonder, was this about protecting the kids or keeping the other person on lockdown? The rules are clear. If you're moving on, you better be serious. No playing games here. And it doesn't stop there. After Tia filed for divorce, Cory wasn't about to go down quietly. He contested the divorce right from the start, claiming the reason wasn't irreconcilable differences. He wanted to rewrite the narrative, but it gets even wilder. Cory allegedly demanded the court determine Tia's right to spousal support. You heard that right, while simultaneously asking that she continue financially supporting him. Talk about a bold move, right? But wait, there's more. Cory didn't just take this to court over the money. He also dragged Tia through a legal battle to determine the validity of their prenup from 2008. Not only that, but he questioned whether certain provisions in that agreement were unconscionable. So, in other words, Cory was out here challenging the very foundation of their marriage and making it clear he wasn't walking away empty-handed. Naturally, all of this sent people into a frenzy on social media, and Cory quickly became the target of online backlash, with many accusing him of only going after Tia's money. Cory denied the reports, but let's be real, he couldn't escape the storm. Meanwhile, Tia, she stayed silent at first, but some say she low-key fueled the fire. Take, for example, when Lee Hammock posted a TikTok about a couple where one partner was happy to split the bills, while the other used manipulative tactics to avoid paying. Tia couldn't resist chiming in. She reacted with a string of eye emojis, basically co-signing everything Lee said. And it didn't stop there. Not long after filing for divorce, Tia was all over social media flaunting how happy and content she was with her new life. She even dropped a bombshell about the exact moment she realized she was done with the marriage, revealing that she came to the conclusion that she needed to focus on her own happiness. So while Cory was fighting to clear his name, Tia was out here sending a very different message to the world.
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. I feel like women, we tend to focus on everybody else's happiness, making sure that everybody else is okay, meaning our children. Meaning, our children, our friends, our, family. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth, and then all of a sudden there's this awakening.
So, like I said, according to most people, Tia is reportedly regretting her decision to divorce Cory. Turns out, the grass isn't as green as she thought on the other side. She spent all that time talking about how happy and content she was, but now, all she seems to talk about is loneliness and solitude. It's like the whole, I'm better off without him narrative has completely flipped on its head. These days, she's out here sounding like she's regretting the very choice she once celebrated, and now everyone's wondering, was she just lying to herself, or was she trying to convince us all?
So, therapy, journaling, spending time with myself, solitude is not a punishment. And I've learned a lot about myself.
Oh, and don't think Tia's been sitting quiet through all of this. She's been acting up on social media in a way that's definitely caught people's attention. Not too long ago, she posted something on Instagram that was basically an open book moment about her struggles with solitude. She started by confessing, "I've never been alone until now." She went on to say how for the longest time, her work and family kept her constantly surrounded by people, and let's not forget, she's got a twin, so alone time was basically non-existent growing up. Then, of course, Tia flipped the script by claiming she'd embraced solitude and found something surprising. She said, "I realized that being alone wasn't a punishment, but an opportunity to recharge through conscious effort." Now, we all know what she's doing here, trying to reframe her loneliness as some kind of spiritual awakening. She even went on to say that she's transformed these quiet moments into a way to refresh her mind and spirit, and that it's crucial for her well-being. And the cherry on top, Tia ended her post by saying she's using this time to rejuvenate and be fully present when she's with her family and friends. But here's the question, is this true self-care, or is she just trying to spin her loneliness into a noble narrative to save face? In another post, Tia dropped a reel showing herself doing a bunch of activities alone, and the caption? Oh, it was a whole vibe. She wrote, "For a long time I confused being alone with loneliness, but I've come to realize that loneliness and solitude are two very different things. Solitude is not a punishment, it's a gift. Sitting in solitude is where the magic happens. It's in those quiet moments that you hear your inner whispers and discover the peace within yourself. I'm learning to truly love my own company, and this journey has been powerful. powerful, huh? Now, that sounds like the ultimate glow up. But let's be real. Does anyone really buy this self-love transformation? Or is this just Tia putting on a show for the gram? Maybe it's all about rebranding her loneliness as something deeper, something more profound. Either way, she's clearly leaning into the idea of solitude to make it sound like a revelation. But could it be that, after all that happy and content talk, Tia's just trying to save face and make her situation sound like some kind of personal breakthrough? During the holidays last year, she was still saying the same thing. She posted about how lonely it can get being a single mom, writing in part, co-parenting during the holidays is a journey, one that's filled with a mix of emotions. It's different. And yes, it can feel challenging and even lonely at times, especially when you're adjusting to a new family dynamic. But over time, I've found the beauty in it. It's an opportunity for my kids to build meaningful relationships with both parents, and for me, it creates a space for self-discovery, healing, and rejuvenation. I'll admit, as a single mom, I sometimes feel the weight because our family doesn't look like others, but you know what? That's okay. Different doesn't mean less than. The most important thing is keeping the traditions alive for my children, because no matter how it looks, we are still family. If you watched Tia's reality show, you probably noticed Cory came up a lot, almost like she's still holding on to the hope of getting back together. But here's the twist. Cory has reportedly moved on. Despite saying the divorce took a toll on him, it looks like he's left that chapter behind. Meanwhile, Tia seems stuck, still stuck in the past, or just trying to keep the drama alive.
Because, you know, it's tough when it feels like you're going through something alone and no one understands, and, you know, no one's there for you. And it's just like, you know, when you're a man, especially a black man, they're like, oh, he's tough, he's strong. But you know, it was a year and a half crying myself to sleep every night. You know, nobody see that.
Yeah.
Nobody see that.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, you live 5 minutes away from your babies, you know what I'm saying? Because people who know Cory Hardrict know that his kids and his family was everything to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm stronger than I thought I was.
There have been whispers that Tia actually went back to Cory, begging him to take her back. Who knows if that's true? But one thing's for sure, Cory's been living his best life since the split. Remember when he said the divorce gave him his highest payday? He didn't drop any exact numbers, but he did credit the divorce for totally shifting his career trajectory. When asked if the paycheck would set the bar for future projects, he straight up said he wants to stay in that ballpark, or even blow it out of the water. Looks like Cory's not just moving on, he's leveling up. And get this, reportedly, Cory's already got a few high-paying gigs lined up that are set to rake in some serious cash by the time production wraps. Looks like he's not just getting by post-divorce, he's stacking up those checks and securing the bag, proving that he's not just moving on, but leveling up in every way.
No, I love Mr. Tyler Perry. Stop. We working again on something for sure. I can't really speak on it, but it was the most incredible experience I ever had on the film. He takes care of his actors. It's a loving set, and you know, we're gonna do it again. So big shout out to Mr. Perry, man. Y'all stop playing with that man.
Now, we all know Cory's always said that family is his top priority, but after everything Tia put him through, should he really take her back? I mean, was it fair for her to just sit back and watch while he got dragged through the mud, accused of only staying with her for her money? Allegedly, of course. Honestly, if they are back together, the first thing I hope for is that Tia stays the heck off social media. That whole saga was a mess. But I'm really curious, what do you think about Tia reportedly begging Cory to take her back? Is she genuinely sorry? Or is this just another round of drama? Let me know what you think. Sound off in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. And before you dip, make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button. And let's keep the conversation respectful and full of love. Voila! Until next time!